3 myths and 3 truths with an 88-pound Zepbound weight loss. Hi, friends. I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I have had the privilege over the last 16 months to be on GLP-1 medication, having lost 88 pounds. And 16, my life is totally different. This woman over here, totally different than the way I am now. But on today's episode, we're going to go through 3 myths, in my humble opinion, and 3 truths that I've learned after the last 16 months of being on. I was on Mounjaro because of the Mounjaro shortage. Had to move over to Zepbound because of the Zepbound shortage. Had to move over to now the Zepbound compound, which is tirzepatide. I work with fabulous Join Fridays. I'll link their information down below, who prescribes both brand names, Mounjaro and Zepbound, and also compounds. So let's go ahead and dive in. My number 1 myth to start us off is babies. You say, Countess, why are you talking about babies? Well, I don't think that most people know. It's not a myth. In fact, it's the truth that people can get pregnant. Eli Lilly tells us in our literature on the Zepbound page, it says, which I didn't know until a viewer told me, if you are on childbearing years or you have family members who are childbearing years who are on a GLP-1 medication, but specifically with Zepbound, but I'm going to say across GLP-1 medication, that when you titrate up a dose, that first 4 weeks, if you are taking oral birth control pill to have alternative forms of birth control. I feel like not enough people are talking about this. I mean, there's a wide news spread of Ozempic babies and all this chitter chatter about babies, but I'm like, good gravy. Why don't we just talk about if you're on the pill and you're taking a GLP-1 medication and you titrate up, please, please, please talk to your healthcare provider about that. In today's day and age, being thoughtful about that subject, I think is super, super important. And to me, it was a myth. Like, you don't know what you don't know. I didn't know. And I read fine print. I was like, that just jumped out of nowhere. Well, apparently not. But of course, also the side benefit of people getting healthier and losing weight and things like that. Of course, that can lead to more fertility too. So just keeping that in mind. And then also the other pendulum swing on that too is in my free encouragement group, there's thousands of amazing men and women. I'll link it in the description link below. Just click that ... more button. Many women in the group are like, oh, I went through menopause and I just got a period. I said, let me clutch my pearls. So just hormones. Babies, hormones, the myth, the legend that is there of going on GLP-1 medications. My periods, I've talked about previously, have been whacked out. Now, gentlemen, hang with me. I promise I'm going to get past the menstrual talk here, the men's talk. Let's move over to tip number 2, which is the myth that I erroneously had when I first started GLP-1 medication, that I was going to lose crazy amount of weight in a very short period of time. And I did my first week lose crazy amount of weight. I lost 11 pounds in 1 week or something like that. I forget. It was a crazy amount in the first week. And that is not normal. That's not sustainable. That's not, no. For me, I don't want to lose crazy amount of weight loss. For me, that can be dangerous, knowing that there's pancreatitis, appendicitis, and loose skin. I already have loose skin, but more loose skin, I guess. So that crazy weight loss, that there's a myth that is continuously perpetuated of, oh, I'm going to lose crazy amount. And when one doesn't lead up to that crazy amount of weight loss, or maybe does, but if one doesn't, that there's this huge letdown. And I really want to normalize for me, and again, I'm not a healthcare provider, always talk to your own healthcare provider. This is simply my experience, strength, and hope to hopefully help encourage, but talk to your own healthcare provider about your own medical conditions. This crazy weight loss of losing 1 to 2 pounds per week. And quite frankly, if I lose a half of a pound, if I'm losing 8 ounces per week, I'm a happy clam. That I am not in a race, as one of the lifestyle habit changes I've made over the last 16 months is I'm not in this race to get to this 100-pound weight loss, which I will get there. Trust and believe. If you know me even just a little bit, know that if I put my mind to something, I'm going to do it. And so this crazy weight loss, that's not really where I'm at. And I feel like a lot of people come into GLP-1 medication because there's so much noise. And hello, I was on the Oprah show. Like, I was one of those people on the Shame, Blame, Weight Loss Revolution. I got to talk to Oprah. It's still on Hulu's it's the after show. I was on the show with my before and afters, but actually talking to Oprah was on the after show. And there's so much hype around weight loss associated with GLP-1 medications that this crazy inflated weight loss, like, let's change the conversation. That these are to help with chronic obesity management, and if you're on Mounjaro or Ozempic type 2 diabetes. And with that, I have a GLP-1 deficiency, a hormone deficiency. And the shot enables me to have that GLP-1 hormone replenished for chronic obesity management. And so changing that conversation. Myth number 3, I think people think that we poop our brains out. I'm like, no, not today, Satan, not pooping my brains out. But I think people really do, because you hear so much in the media about our 4 major gastrointestinal side effects: nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, and constipation. What I hear most in my free encouragement group, which is fantastic. If you are not nice, don't join that group, by the way. Only nice people. It's linked in the description link below. And by the way, if you've haven't been approved by more than like 4 days, email me. You probably got flagged as spam, just FYI. But I've seen mostly people have more constipation than pooping their brains out. Of all of the gastrointestinal ones, for me, it's a myth that people poop their brains out. Although I've said this before and I'll say it again, I'm on the highest possible dose of Zepbound. Just because on one dose I had one side effect does not mean for me that on other doses, higher doses, that I don't have different side effects. I had never had nausea until I hit Zepbound Mounjaro 15 milligrams because of the shortage, Zepbound 15 milligrams, because of the Zepbound shortage now on tirzepatide compound. Just because I've had one side effect does not mean I won't on another. And so on this highest dose, I've never had nausea, and now do. Like, this is par for the course. I was like, am I pregnant? I'm not pregnant. Past that stage. But I think that it's interesting point of view, and maybe let me know in the comments, have you had this, of where like you've had different side effects with different dosing? For me, definitely have. It's been Mr. Toad's wild ride with these side effects. And so I haven't pooped my brains out, but certainly have had the diarrhea component. And so for me, the biggest thing, if you have constipation, by the way, oh my gosh, Bioptimizers, their magnesium, it has 7 types, very helpful for me. I'll link that down below. There's a discount code you can use. They've been gracious for the Countess of Shopping community. The discount code is QUEEN. And so that's linked in the description link below too. So those are my 3 myths. 1 is babies, babies, and more babies. 2, crazy weight loss. And 3 is pooping your brains out. Now let's swing the pendulum over to truths. I've got 3 truths for you. The truth is we are under a shortage for GLP-1 medications. Eli Lilly tells us we will be in a shortage for Zepbound and Mounjaro at least until 2025. What part of 2025? I have no idea, because Eli Lilly on the Q1 2024 investor call is when they said that, citing my source. But they gave no month range or even quarter range on that. So just FYI, we're in a shortage, which is why I moved to a compound, because at least for the next 6 months, if not 8 months, if not 10 months, I'm not fighting anymore gladiator. I'm tired of the Hunger Games. Did that with the COVID vaccine, don't want to do that with my GLP-1 medication. Did that with the toilet paper during COVID, don't want to do it with the GLP-1 medication. So the shortage, it is. And so it baffles me in my group. I've done so many videos here on YouTube, and I've talked about it so loudly in my group of like, there is a shortage. Do not be surprised if you're like, oh gosh, I can't get my medication. No, duh. We've been talking about the shortage now I've been talking about it since literally the holiday season back in 2023. Like, this is a real thing. If you can't get your medication, it's not because you're not special. You are special, but there's a nationwide shortage, a global shortage. And so just keeping that in mind, not just, that's a diminishing word, keeping that in mind, that there is a shortage, proactively using tools to combat that. And for me, it was going to the compound route. I was like, forget this. If you want to join, I use Join Fridays. They prescribe me both my brand names, but also my compound. You can use the discount code QUEEN with those. Tip number, what was that? Tip number, where are we? 5 for our truths. It's our second truth. It's going to be, the truth is I've had to change my habits. The way that I used to eat, that's not the one I wanted. The way that I used to eat is not the way that I eat anymore. My eating habits have changed and my workout habits have changed. I've mentioned this on other videos, but to combat the muscle mass loss, I was doing wall Pilates, free here on YouTube, completely obsessed. My favorite YouTuber for that was Senior Care. It's like beginning Pilates for senior care. She's amazing. She's this young chippy and she's beautiful and she seems very nice and I've got a melodic voice. Anyways, I love wall Pilates, very sore afterwards. That was my lifting, but now I have purchased, I'm not gonna say the name of what I purchased because I wanna test it first before recommending it. It's a video on demand lifting program that I can do in my home. I used to join a gym, but I don't want to drive a half an hour there, 45 minutes total, like walking in the gym and then 45 minutes back home. Like I don't have an extra hour and a half to be driving and changing in a locker room and all that crap. So here at my house is where I'm going to be lifting. And so changing my habits to lift, but I couldn't lift right off the bat, which is why I did the wall Pilates. But before the wall Pilates, it was through walking. And so finding some sort of physical activity you like, and maybe that means you sample different activities. For me, I love swimming. But I am not able to drive to the swimming pool every day. And so that just wasn't a feasible way of doing it, but I love it. So sprinkling that in, finding what you love. One of our beautiful, amazing viewers loves to bicycle. And so she's probably right now bicycling, watching me. And if you're on your treadmill walking or running, or if you're working out while you're lifting, listening to me, I always get so excited when people do that. I'm like, yay! But changing my habits for working out and the way that I eat. Eating 100 to 120 grams of protein is challenging. It's still challenging. And I've been doing this now for 16 months. I learned about the protein thing back, it's been a year. Has it been a year? I feel like it's been a year. Maybe it hasn't been. It's been quite some time and it's still daunting to me and I'm still learning. So changing those habits for me, some have taken short time, some have taken long time, but recognizing that I'm changing my habits as a result of this weight loss journey. Tip number 6, being accountable. Having my free, I have so many free resources. Like you don't have to buy anything I talk about. You can use all of my free resources and you don't owe me anything for it. My free group with thousands of amazing, high quality, high tier people. My free blog on countessofshopping.com. My free meal plan that I bought from a dietitian totally to have as a free resource here at Countess of Shopping. It looks like, let me pull up the picture. Hopefully I have the picture here. Here it is. It looks like this. You can print it out or you can use the PDF. It has a free shopping list with it. And then it has all these high protein recipes. And I bought it, 500 bucks. My husband thought I was a lunatic. I was like, no, it's for my group. It's for my amazing counts and countesses. But in my accountability group, being brutally honest, I think is important in the right context, right? Like you don't want to be like, you got to make sure it's a safe space, but I have accountability people in my life that I'm really honest with. And then also the overarching things of accountability in my free group is very helpful. And so I want to encourage you, where can you be accountable with love, grace, kindness, and compassion of where you're not getting away with stuff and you're growing, but also it's not like guilt, shame, condemnation. And for me, it's been this fine balance of that. I'm still learning this of guilt, shame, condemnation. No, but also holding myself lovingly accountable of like that behavior needs to change. You can't continue to do that. You do need to show up for your workouts. Why haven't you scheduled your mammogram? I keep talking about it because apparently you need a referral for a mammogram. Keep holding me accountable. But like stuff like this of the woman that I want to be and the health person I aspire to be, which I know I will be, I'm learning a lot. And so being accountable for that, but also with grace. I feel like there's two sides to this coin. I mean, what I've been through this year with a family member, a very close family member being sick, and then now another family member has colon cancer. Oh my goodness. You cannot like, if you told me back in 2023, this was going to be my life the past year during 2024, I would have laughed. It's been a wild ride. And so having grace, but also moving forward. And I know many of you are in the same boat I'm in of like, sometimes life is really challenging. And right now it's this pocket of, I am very overwhelmed with life right now. And I am also very grateful. Daniel Tiger told me I can feel two things at the same time and that's okay. So I'm both overwhelmed and incredibly grateful. So with these myths and truths of my Zepbound weight loss and Mounjaro weight loss and now tirzepatide weight loss, I hope that it's encouraging to you that I feel like as long as we're moving forward, that's what counts. Some days it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but I'm still moving forward. And so I hope that that's encouraging. I also hope that it's normalizing some of these things too, of where people are like, I only lost 5 pounds the last 3 weeks. And I'm like, that is huge. Like erasing some of these misnomers and sometimes unhealthy behaviors, and including in myself, obviously, like for myself too, of like, I've had to like check myself of like, is that a healthy belief? Is that a limiting belief? Is that a poverty spirit? Or am I living in abundance? Am I living in the solution? Am I moving forward? It's with love, grace, kindness, and compassion. It's this honest appraisal thing is not for the weak of heart. And so I aspire to get to that 100-pound weight loss. I know I will. But these myths and truths for me, holding into the truth of what is factually accurate of I can do this. there's no reason that I can't, and I will. It's gonna require more hard work than I thought, and I think that's the final bonus of this video is this is requiring more hard work for me than I had expected. When I'm brutally honest, I thought it was gonna be a lot easier than what it's been, and it's not been easy. It's been challenging, and that's okay, because anything that is good and worth having, it takes time, a fight usually, like it takes progress. It takes moving forward, not a fight, but like pushing forward. There's gotta be momentum in it. And so therefore, for me, my health is worth the fight. It's worth moving forward. It's worth the hardship of this. Hard makes better. And the more I practice, the better I get. And so the more I practice weightlifting, the better I get. The more I practice showing up for my walks, the better I get. The more I practice learning how to meal prep all of these proteins that are wacko to me at times, like how do you steam shrimp? I don't know, I'm still learning. I had a video on it like 6 years ago. I was like, that was a really good video of how to steam shrimp. I'm gonna go back to my own video. Like relearning some of these tools and learning some of these tools just because I didn't have the skill set for it. And that's also okay. So what are your myths and truths? Tell me in the comments below. And of course, your accountability question, what are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? Tell me in the comments below. Number 2, our emoji of the day is going to be a lightning bolt. A lightning bolt is our emoji. The emoji tells me 2 things. One, it helps for me to get to know you better by seeing your name, that pattern recognition of seeing your name pop up over and over. I will get to know you. And then 2, I will pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, no worries. I will uplift you in positive thought. So we're an inclusive bunch here at Countess of Shopping. My sweet friends, all of my resources I talked about in today's video are down below. And if you are looking for a protein, my favorite protein shake is Biocare. Biocare, they have chocolate and mixed fruit. I am obsessed with the mixed fruit. The Duke loves the chocolate. I mix mine with ice. You can not do that. You can just mix it in like a shaker. But I have a discount code from them. I'll also put in the affiliate links for all of my affiliate links down on the description link below too. Sweet friends, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, get all my free resources. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and keep on trucking. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye guys.